What else we got, big dog?
We got Nick Ball defended his title against Ronnie Rios, knocked him out the ring. The top two contenders for his title now are Stephen Fulton and Shushu Carrington. We said it before we got on. Nick Ball is like the Isak Cruz at 126, but I think you said you think he's a little bit better, possibly.
He's a better version of Isak. Very, very similar style in terms of their aggressive approach, hands straight up. I'm gonna walk you down. But Nick walks you down behind the jab. He's got much better feet. I would say Isak's feet are a C minus. Nick's feet are a B plus, A minus, B plus, A minus. And he's not a one trick pony. He can go up and down. He can create things. You can tell that he's thinking, and he's thinking very, very fast. Isak doesn't. I don't think Isak. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think Isak thinks. I think Isak he's very systematic. This is the punch I'm gonna throw, and I'm gonna hit you with this punch. And it's like there's really behind that. There's no rhyme and reason for the startup or the finish for Isak. So I think Nick is the better fighter of those two guys. Of course, they're very far from one another right now, 26 and 40.
So Sean, do you feel like Nick Ball, to be technical with it, is he closes the gap quicker, his feet are a little quicker in getting there, and his punch selection is more creative?
Punch selection more creative, and like I said before, he thinks. He knows when offense is coming. He knows when to use defense, and he's not just a wrecking ball and a straight target the way that Isak is.
How do you think Fulton or Carrington does if they fight for his title soon?
I'm really curious to see what a fight with Fulton looks like, because seeing Fulton get dropped by Castro in his last fight, seeing him get hit in exchanges, Nick is that kind of fighter where you have to take chances. I don't think Nick is the kind of guy that you can just box on the back foot and continue to turn him. He's very quick, and he's got good feet, so he can pick up on your turns, and he can line you up and send you somewhere to really be effective with offense. So a fight with Fulton, I feel it becomes a firefight. And if Nick has the kind of power that it looks like he has, he could do some damage to Fulton. I'm not sure who wins that fight.
Well, we're always the biased American podcast, if you read some of the comments, but so I'll offset some of that by saying Ball, based on their recent performances at 26, he deserves to be the favorite if they fought tomorrow against Carrington or Fulton, the Americans. Absolutely. I still think both of them, especially Carrington, are capable of beating him. I do think Raymond Ford was making a tough weight cut at 26, but Nick Ball is also just a good fighter and gave him his hands full and got the W. But I think Fulton, I definitely wouldn't count him out if he's got a perfect night in him. And he was getting rocked by Castro, right? But we did see Caleb Plant dealing with similar ring rust get rocked by Trevor McCumbee early in that fight on the same card. Once he got some rounds in, he took the power better. So maybe Fulton getting that last fight under his belt, if he could get that activity going, like you were talking about earlier, he can have his legs underneath him. He could have his reflexes underneath him. And maybe he can put together a great game plan, have enough Philadelphia grit to hold up in the trenches when he needs to. Yeah. And maybe he could beat Nick Ball. I wouldn't count him out. But Ball's got to be the favorite right now.
We saw it against Brandon Figueroa.
Right, same thing.
We saw it against Leo as well.
Angelo Leo, yep.
Angelo Leo as well. Where he there's no secret. I mean, we know he can bite down and get it. But it's a higher weight class. Statistically, naturally, we would expect the punches to be a little heavier. The way that Nick delivers his punches, he delivers them deliberately with power. Figueroa has always been a break you down, wear you down kind of guy, and Leo that was a really good back and forth fight. So again, you're adding the element of the work rate but also the element of more power. So that's a tough fight. I think it's a really good fight. And you know, for Fulton, I think that what I'm looking at is you're in a position where you need to be making the most money you can make and fighting in front of the most people you can fight in front of. That means going to England for this one.
There you go, right? And get your Errol Spence Kell Brook on. See if you can come back overseas with the belt, take the belt off of him. And then for a Carrington fight, you know, like we broke it down. I thought, you know, I'm biased, but I thought we broke it down really well. Bruce's last fight and falling in love with the pull counters, falling in love with one part of his tool set. You could argue that would be that could even work against Nick Ball because Nick Ball is giving you something to counter, unlike Suleiman Sagawa, who's got long arms and moves around a lot. Nick Ball got short arms and wants to rumble. And so Carrington would technically get plenty of opportunities to do what he loves, what he's loved doing lately, to pull counters. But if that's all you're doing against him, then this kid might get underneath you in that pocket that you want to work from so much. So you got to do like Raymond Ford did in the rounds he was winning and keep him on the end of the jab and let the counters come in the pocket on your terms, as opposed to just letting them walk right in, get in your wheelhouse where he likes to operate too. So yeah. We'll see.
I think Bruce is more dynamic and has more variety, and that's why I would favor him a little easier, I guess, for the sake of words, and I would favor Fulton. I think that
also younger and bigger.
Yeah, and Carrington he just has a little bit more to his repertoire, you know. So but two really good fights. Nick Ball, I do wish that some of these English fighters had more of a bigger following over here in the United States. I wish that some of them were have I guess for the sake of words, more respect from the American audience, because some of those guys over there really are electric
I think
fighters.
the hardcores respect any of those guys from, you know, the real hardcore boxing fans in America. A lot of times they like the guys from overseas better than they like their fighters in the United States. So I know what you mean. Nobody, relatively speaking, knows who Nick Ball is in America, but for the people who love boxing in America, they know what he is and they respect him a lot right now.